Welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I'm going to teach you how you can sell your very own branded product on Amazon FBA. You will be able to sell products that have your very own brand name on them on Amazon without any problems if you follow the steps in this video. If you'd like to learn how, keep on watching. Before we get started, if you have not yet subscribed to the channel, go ahead and click on that subscribe button for more videos on Amazon FBA, e-commerce, and making money online. And go ahead and like this video. Without further ado, let's go ahead and get into it. Something that you have to understand before I explain everything to you is that private label is the process of buying products in bulk, putting your logo on that product, and then reselling that product for a higher price than what you bought it for. A couple of very important components of the private label business model is that you are buying in bulk, and buying in bulk is what enables you to get the product for a cheaper price because you're buying a lot of them. So you're going to get it almost for a wholesale price, and then you're reselling it at a retail price. You're reselling individual units, and that is how you're going to mark things up and actually make a profit selling on Amazon. It's also important to remember that there is something called white labeling, which is different from private labeling. And the biggest difference between these two business models is that with white labeling, you are selling this generic product as a generic product. You are not going the extra step into putting your logo onto that product. A lot of people are attracted to the idea of white labeling because it's faster, but what I will say is that white labeling is not sustainable. It makes the products look very cheap. It makes them look like they were made in China, and customers are not going to want to pay a lot of money for products that look this way. So do yourself a favor, just go ahead and private label. Getting a logo made is very easy, it's very cheap, and you can even make it yourself on a website like Canva or Photoshop if you are creative. If you're not, you can just literally pay someone $5 and they can make you a logo that you will be able to use and have put onto your products. Now that we understand private labeling, what you need to know is that Amazon has a very specific way that they like things done on their platform. When it comes to listing products on Amazon, you are going to need what is called a UPC. UPC stands for Universal Product Code. And what that is, it's a barcode that you can buy from a website called gs1.org. And on this website, you will essentially be registering the products that you're going to sell and have that correspond with that UPC barcode. So it's very important that when you are going through the process of purchasing the UPC, which is a very simple process, it should take you no more than 5 minutes, you want to make sure that whatever information you are using to make your UPC and to purchase that UPC is the exact identical information that you are putting on your Amazon listing. So I'm going to give you a quick rundown of how the whole process is going to work. You're going to do your product research and you're going to narrow down a product that you want to sell using a software like Helium 10. I'm going to link that software down below in the description. I have tons of videos on my channel that demonstrate how to use Helium 10 to find profitable products. So let's just say that you have found the product that you want to sell. Now what you're going to want to do is create that listing on Amazon to ensure that you can sell that product. So what you're going to do is create a brand new listing, and one of the very first steps when you are creating that listing is going to be to enter what they call a product ID. A product ID can be a number of different things, including a UPC. A product ID could be an ISBN number if it is a book. A product ID could be lots of different things, but for the purposes of private label, we are going to be focused on UPCs. So now you're going to go to gs1.org and you are going to purchase a UPC for $30. It costs $30 for one UPC. You only need one UPC. So sometimes people get confused thinking they need a bunch of different UPCs because they're selling a bunch of one type of product. Let's say you're going with 500 units. You don't need 500 UPCs. You just need one UPC that will identify all of those products because they're all the same thing, just duplicates of one another. Hopefully that makes sense. So when you fill in that information and everything matches up, that's what will let Amazon know that your product has been registered and is legitimate, and that is when you'll be able to proceed further with your listing. Now, what's important to know is most likely when you are moving forward with that listing and you go to enter in a brand name, you are going to probably get an error code. And the error code that you get will essentially just say that you have to fill out what they call a brand approval form. Now that brand application form is very short and should not take you a long time to fill out. The only thing that might get you a little bit stuck is submitting photos of the product. So they're going to ask you for the brand name. They're going to ask you if you own the brand, which at that point, yes, you do, because you've purchased the UPC from GS1. So everything is legit and official. But what you're going to have to do for Amazon to believe you is submit photos of that product. Now, there are some different methods that you can use in order to acquire these photos and submit them to Amazon for approval. The easiest way to do this is to just have your supplier take the photos. The reason that this is the easiest is because your supplier already has the product. Now, if they haven't started making the product just yet, they might just have a generic version of the product that they can take a photo of. What is going to be important to include on those photos is to have your brand name or your logo on those photos that you submit to Amazon. And essentially what they are trying to see and verify is that you are the owner of that brand name that you are claiming you are the owner of. And for some strange reason, they think you taking some pictures is what's going to prove it. So you're going to have to ask them to hold the product in their hands and take very almost amateur photos of the product. Amazon doesn't want anything that looks professionally done because to them that could be fake. So what they want is for it to look real life, like real world photos, I think is what they call it. So you're gonna have the supplier hold the photo in their hand, not the photo, the product in their hand, and that's going to have your logo on it, either on a sticker or printed directly onto the packaging. And they're going to just simply take photos of it, photo from the front, photo from the back, on the side, and that is what you're going to submit to Amazon. If your supplier is unable or unwilling to do that, you can also do it yourself using whatever samples they have sent you. So if your supplier has sent you samples of the product and you have that product in a box, you can take pictures of that product. And what's important is that you will have someone off of Fiverr.com or Upwork.com or wherever you want to hire a freelancer to do your photo editing. They can just edit your logo or your brand name directly onto the photo that you have sent them. Now, what I will say is that Amazon is getting a little better at picking up on things that are Photoshopped, so they might be able to tell that it's not an authentic real world photo. So for that reason, they might deny it and tell you that you have to resubmit it because they don't look, legitimate. If they end up doing this, another workaround is for you to create a label on a website like Canva. I just use that as an example because it's free, but there are lots of other websites that you can use as well. And you can create your own logo, a very simplistic label that has your logo on there, that has your brand name on there, that has your barcode on there. You can create one yourself and simply print that out and stick it onto the packaging of your product, whether or not that is a plastic bag, whether or not it is a cardboard box. Whatever it is, you can stick it on there. Technically, the label is supposed to be affixed to the packaging, meaning it's a part of the packaging. But a lot of my students in my step-by-step Amazon program, which I'll link right here if you're interested, a lot of my students have used this method and have been approved. So you can give that a try as well and see if they will accept those photos. So have your supplier do it, you can take it yourself, or have somebody Photoshop the stuff on there so that it looks real, and then send it to Amazon and you should be good to go. It will dramatically improve your chances of getting approved if you are literally holding the product in your hand. If you have it sitting somewhere, again, Amazon might think that it's not real. So holding it will be kind of the easiest way to kind of prove like, hey, see, it's mine. Silly, but it's the way that they want things. And a big part of being successful on Amazon is just playing the game the way that they want you to, unfortunately. And this is just one of those things that you'll have to do according to their specifications. So after you've submitted your application, you should get an approval within a few days. And once you do that, you will be able to continue on with your product listing. You'll be able to add in photos. You'll be able to add in a title. You'll be able to add in bullet points, a description, and anything else that you want to include into that listing. Once you do all of that and you submit, it might take Amazon a couple of minutes, maybe even an hour or a few hours to fully create that listing. And of course you can go back in and make edits and make changes later on, but that is essentially what you're going to want to do. And once you have been approved, then you are selling your own branded product and you didn't even have to go ahead and file for a trademark. So this is definitely a great temporary solution to anyone who just wants to launch a product on Amazon, see if it's a good fit or something that you want to do in the long term before going ahead and committing to getting that trademark. And this is something that should take you no less than like a week. This entire process, theoretically, depending on whether or not you have the product or whether or not your supplier is able to take those photos for you, you could get this done in a day or 2 days or, literally half a week, but it should not take you more time than this in order to get everything submitted, everything approved, and you will be ready to go ahead and have those products made and sent to Amazon so that you can launch your very first product. I hope this video was helpful for you if you're looking to launch your first product on Amazon in 2025. I know that this might seem like a lot of information or it might seem complicated, but it gets easier as you just do the steps. So if you have to refer back to this video and kind of listen to what I said, it's totally fine. All of the information that I provide for you guys is here for you to be able to revisit, rewatch, and make sure that you are taking the right steps so that you can get up and running as quickly as possible. Again, don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.